I did a video the other day about one of the words or phrases that I used to use when I was drinking alcohol. I suppose a word or phrase that often dominated my thinking was fuck that. And I used it in terms of when I was having a shit time, or when I was having problems, or when the end of the day came, or anything that made me feel bad, or there were so many different ors in that. I would always say to myself, oh, fuck that, and go straight for the beer. And that happens so much, and when you do it often enough, it just turns into a habit and it becomes habitual. And you don't need that anymore. You don't need the trigger. You know, life itself becomes the trigger. Coming home at night becomes the trigger. When you have a shitty day, you drink a bit more, but you're drinking anyway. And that's one of the saddest parts of the life of a drinker, is you habitualize what you're doing, you don't notice what you're doing, and your life is slowly disappearing away from you. One of the reasons I did that was because, I mean, basically it made me feel better. You know, when you can say to yourself, you know, this is not working out for me, and you can just disappear into the bottom of a bottle, and you can hide from your responsibilities, you can hide from any commitments that you've made, and you can make them disappear for however long it is that you're drunk or you're in that state of mind. When you can divest yourself of all adult responsibility and you can become a child again, it makes you feel better. You know, it's like going back and sucking on your dummy, or, you know, your pacifier. It's like that kind of a thing. It's like the kid in Snoopy who has the blanket. You know, it's that kind of thing where you're just taking yourself away from life. But that's what it happens is, you know, one of the biggest things that I had in my life to give me responsibility was my son, when my son was born. And I think that happens to most men. I think women have a different outlook on responsibility. I think responsibility is thrust on them from a very young age, because, you know, when you can get pregnant, you know, you need to think seriously about that. You know, it's something that is pushed on you. I mean, a young man can get somebody pregnant, but he doesn't have to hold that child in his stomach. You know, he can run away from it, you know, but a woman can't. So that's a huge responsibility, it's a huge commitment, and women feel that responsibility, and that matures them a lot quicker than men. Men don't really get responsible. I think men have to go searching for it, or it has to be really pushed on them and thrust on them multiple times. It wasn't until my son was born that I really had that responsibility, when I felt to myself, well, I can't say to myself, fuck that anymore, because I've got this little bag of bones here, this little cute baby who can't do anything for itself. You know, it's going to die if I don't do shit for it. You know, you have to get to that stage where you are caring about yourself tomorrow. You know, the person that you're going to become tomorrow. You're caring about that person that you're going to become in a year's time, or 5 years time, or 10 years time, because if you want to live a life, then you are going to become that person, and you have to care enough about that person to understand that the things that you're doing in this moment, the times when you say, oh, fuck that, they're going to impinge on that future person that you are going to become, and eventually you will start to live that life. Eventually you will start to live through the consequences of that life. You know, that fuck that mentality is emotions over logic. It's when your emotions are taking over and they're pushing your reason aside, when you're not thinking about things, when you're not bothered enough about yourself to think through your emotions. And that's a dangerous thing to do. It's the thing that wastes more potential than anything else, allowing your emotions to take that. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I just thought that was a sort of a topic to expand a little bit on, and hopefully you get something out of it. Take care of yourself. I'm Kevin O'Hara for Habit Unplugged. We help people to stop drinking alcohol and to make the best versions of themselves. Take care. Onwards and upwards.